Imperium Pro Team did get 1 point against Diamond in the last time, and Pacific Esports got a best of 2, 3 points for themselves against Imperium Pro Team Blue. So we're gonna see how these teams will turn out, if they will get straight up 2 points.
Okay, so now we're into the pick and ban phase, and an immediate Blitzcrank ban coming from Team Imperium Pro Team.
Definitely a target ban onto Astarte there.
Alright, so they don't want Astarte to get that. Actually, he's like the Mad Life of the PH with those Blitzcrank hooks, because I believe when I saw him play before against Imperium Pro Team Blue, he actually got a lot of good hooks.
The deadly hooks.
Yeah, which gave them the very good picks. Alright, you can see right now that they banned immediately again the Annie, and for Team Pacific they got Castin and the Riven. So Annie is a targeted ban onto...
I'm actually not sure. Annie's usually used, well, she's
top,
often used
mid,
as a,
or support.
Usually mid support, so possibly a target ban.
I think they saw something in Pacific's strategy that they don't want the Annie coming in there. And of course, the Morgana, an all-out ban. She can go into the mid lane, the support lane, and again, the Black Shield, the Tormented Soil, Dark Binding, and Soul Shackles make her a very good utility-based champion.
Yeah, we did see her great effectiveness in the previous game, so definitely a champion to look out for.
Alright, so for Pacific Esports, again, the Kassadin and the Riven ban. So we're just waiting for their third ban. And there goes the Graves. Again, Graves has been a very strong ADR. We've seen him come out of the Wazoo. The Wazoo. Alright, because actually I haven't seen a Graves before, but then recently he exploded in the new meta.
Definitely. I mean, Graves has really risen in the recent patch, especially with the nerfs onto Lucian, who was a very popular AD carry before, but with the patch nerfs, Graves has risen a little bit back into the game. And now, especially with the early game damage.
Okay, and now for Imperium Pro Team, they might get, or yes, they will get the ADR core key. As for Pacific Esports, they're going to, of course, Imperium Pro Team did get that first pick, so they want to stabilize it. As for Pacific Esports, with that double pick that's coming out of them right now, it will be actually a favorable, let's say, picking for them, because they got the 2 picks, so they can strategize better.
Yeah, definitely. This Wukong, though, one of the anticipated picks for coming from Pacific Esports, because Wukong was picked by Bitum before in the previous PGS week, so definitely one of the anticipated picks. Meanwhile, Lissandra, again, Nids did use him before, but he's hovering over to different champions.
Yeah, but as we said before, Lissandra is really one of the better picks right now because of her utility as well. Like Morgana, she can either go for the top lane or mid lane, a burst, or a let's say utility-based champion. Either way, it's really good to get her early on if you know how to use her correctly.
Yeah, actually, Nids hovered over Kalista there. I really wanted to see a Kalista pick, but again, dreams are crushed. They're gonna go over for a Caitlyn.
Yeah, I think they wanted to get the Morgana and then a Kalista combo, because that's really one of the better combos for Kalista in the bot lane. You can throw in the Morgana, all up with the Soul Shackles while they're knocked up. And that's a lot of CC already.
Yeah. But again, they are hovering over. Ooh! We actually see a Gragas pick.
I believe that might be a Gragas top lane.
Yeah, jungle or top lane. I mean, Gragas top lane and jungle was quite popular before until the nerf hammer came onto him. But we're gonna see how Gragas turns out in this one, because it really is quite interesting. He does have some pretty good AP damage. He was a very popular mid laner by Faker.
When he was reworked a little bit, his AP ratios on his ultimate and his barrel roll have been nerfed significantly. Actually, the barrel roll before, you don't have to wait before you can do the maximum damage, but now you have to wait until that barrel like glows red and explodes. Alright, so now for Pacific Esports, they have the Wukong. They might go in for the Veigar and Galio.
These are really interesting picks.
I really want to see these guys. And they locked in the Veigar, so it will be, I hope, the boss Veigar skin, because I haven't seen that in competitive play in quite some time.
Yeah, also haven't seen a Veigar in competitive play for quite some time. I mean, Galio was used by, I believe, one of the Samsung Blue members during the 2014 World Championships, and it was sort of effective, and I think it could definitely be effective against Alessandro top if they decide to go for Alessandro top.
In my opinion, Galio is like a Kassadin in the prospect that he has the ability to counter out magic damage, because you can build him a lot of magic resistance, and 50% of that magic resistance becomes ability power. That means that he has a lot of durability. Now, of course, his I believe his Bulwark, his second skill, for example, you use I think the first 3 hits or 2 hits, when you, for example, you use a lot of damage onto that, he gets back HP. That's really good. And of course, the slow and the slow from his Q and then the boost speed from his E makes him a very good utility-based champion with a lot of AP damage.
Definitely. So definitely interesting to see how this Galio pick will turn out. Although I do believe he is going to be brought over to the top lane, but I guess it could depend because both of the champions here. Although if Zed does go over to the top lane, it could give Galio a pretty hard time.
You might be right that it is the Gragas jungle.
There it is. It's the Gragas jungle. Definitely interesting to see this one and what kind of itemization Poisanity will decide to go for. And of course, Fizz in the mid lane. We do know Oni favoring those.
It's actually a
mid-laners.
Veigar support for Team Pacific Esports. So Astarte will get that Veigar support. So, alright, so a little bit of a... let's just say there's a lot of assassin capabilities coming in from Imperium Pro Team with that Lissandra pick and of course the Darth Mark of the Zed, lots of burst damage. Alright, you can see right now that also they have the positioning capabilities and the initiation from the Gragas and the Leona. As for Pacific Esports, they do have a lot of AoE CC from the Galio's ultimate taunt, then the follow-up knockup from Wukong. Of course, there also is the Shark coming out of the Fizz, and the
AoE stun.
The AoE stun from Veigar. So there's a lot of lockup coming in as well from Pacific Esports. So it's the battle of the initiations from both teams.
Definitely.
Whoever gets the better, whoever gets the... I guess, wait, let's just say, if Imperial Pro gets that first initiation, if Pacific Esports can't react fast enough, they will lose because they don't have a lot of damage.
Yeah, and actually, Imperium Pro Team here has quite a lot of options because they have a pretty versatile team here, especially with the disengage coming in from Gragas here. It could be in their advantage because this is a very unorthodox pick here coming in from Imperium Pro Team. So it could be a pretty important pick if ever Pacific Esports decides to make an engage. He could just throw in his barrel and disengage completely. But then again, he could also use it to help out in team fights. I mean, Leona, Lissandra, and Gragas all put together could be really scary in a team fight too. So definitely interesting to see how these team fights will turn out.
All right, guys. So before the game starts, we would like also again to invite you to the PGS Rift, guys. It is the PGS Rift family. It has been growing quite significantly over some time. We play games, customs, game modes that we make ourselves, Donger Dash, Kill Hunt. Yes. And sometimes the GSs are us give mini events that you can win RP or mystery gifts.
Yeah. And actually pro players are there too. TG, Teru,
of course.
They hang out there quite often.
Yes, there's a lot of pro players that also hang out in the PGS Rift. Again, we would like to invite you to PGS Rift. G-Talk ID is 171-888-11. Again, that's 171-888-11. Parang phone number. You can call me. Just kidding.
Memorize that.
Yeah, it's memorized by heart, guys. Also, again, after 2 games of this best of 2 series, the watch and win, guys. So if you're still aching to get a crack at that very hard to, kasi ang dami nagko-comment ng mga tao
Mahirap yung question.
Yeah, mini prize. Be sure to keep watching because that's 500 RP. Ang dami na lalabas sa skins. Blood Moon Thresh is one of the skins that I am really looking out for.
Yeah, however, I'm looking at Blood Moon Elise. Really special, really cool skins coming out as well. Yeah. I believe Challenger Ari and El Tigre Brom.
Yeah, El Tigre Brom.
Yeah,
it's a macho Brom.
Yes. So definitely exciting. Do watch out for that watch and win, and you guys really have to pay attention to detail there because the questions you guys might have seen earlier. The question earlier was a bit. Well, it's a bit
tricky.
Yeah.
Kasi yung spelling nung answer there.
Yeah, oh, that too.
Yeah, okay.
So do watch out for details there.
Alright, yung sasabi ko pala kanina from the Blood Moon Elise, I believe kasi di ba lahat ng Blood Moons they have the masks. Yung parang kay Blood Moon Elise, I think parang may siya Japanese lore siya na even though she hasn't parang I forgot yung yung full lore nun eh. It's like something that parang she actually really drains out blood from people then I'll next time I
read up on that one.
Yeah, I'll read up again kasi nakalimutan ko na. Pero siya eh, League of Legends doesn't make skins just for the looks. They actually make it from the store, the background lores themselves.
Yeah.
Yung guys
alternative stories.
Yeah. Yung guys parang yung ghost skin ni Morgana. It's actually like she was a bride in some random town that she died in or something parang ganun. So yeah, so there's actually a lot of background stories from the skins themselves, yung mga bago. So you guys should actually check that out because they're really interesting.
Definitely.
Alright, again, so it will be a game against Imperial Pro Team versus Pacific Esports. So who will win, guys? Best of 2 series.
Definitely. So we're gonna see how the best of 2 series.
The very handsome players of both teams again.
Yes.
It's here that Hate on that Imperium Pro team is really looking menacing right now with those glasses.
Alright, so these are the team compositions for both teams. We are going to move into the game quite soon, and let's just go over the members, I guess, of the teams here. So in the top lane for Imperium Pro team, we've got Hero.
Actually, it will be Imperium Haith. Actually,
Yeah.
they actually swapped the roles, I believe, for Imperium Pro team. So they're actually mixing up. Alright, so for Imperium Pro team, we have Imperium Hate in the top lane, Cassandra. For the mid lane, it will be Imperium Light on that Zed. For the jungle, it will be Poisanity. For the jungle, Gragas. Imperium Hero. For the support, Leona and ZNS, or I believe Zensho is his other name. For the ADR Corki. Sorry. As for Pacific Esports, please break it down for us.
So for Pacific Esports, we have Nids in that top lane as Galio. We've got B2 in the jungle using Wukong, Audi in the mid lane using Fizz, Luxuria, and Astarte in the bottom lane with Caitlyn and that Veigar.
Alright, so I'll fix this just a little bit for us so we don't get a little bit too confused in the champ list. Because it's part of the strategy to confuse the GSs.
And the players too.
And the players too. Sabi nila, what? Hindi tama yung lineup nila.
So definitely interesting to see how these teams will go about their team compositions in terms of a level 1 team fight. It could be quite dangerous for both teams. They do have the level 1 stun coming in from Veigar, but on the other hand, Imperium Pro team does also have the stun coming in from Leona, the root coming in from Lissandra, and a sort of knockback coming in from Gragas.
Of course, also Gragas' E right now stuns rather than the knockup. So 1 second, I believe. So in terms jungle wise, there's actually a lot more CC coming in from Prisanity's Gragas compared to B2's Wukong. There we go. Because of course the knockup and then the slow. It's gonna be a lot of
CC
early game aggression coming in from them. And this is, I believe. Oh, was he able to see that? I did not see.
Yeah, I believe Light sort of spotted out the team there.
Yeah.
We could see a possible level 1 clash, but it could be a little bit in Imperium Pro team's favor.
They're actually waiting for Light to try and go in on that little tunnel right there to get a pick onto him. Will he go for the bait?
I don't think he's gonna fall for that.
Yeah, I think he saw them there. He's pinging it out. So he knows that there are like a lot of members from Pacific Esports hiding in that bush. So the sneakiness will not happen. There's Nids already teleporting back, so he will go to the top lane. There will be no lane swaps. It will be a 1-1-2 lane yet again. Sorry.
Yeah, it's actually interesting to see how the bottom lane matchup will turn out as well. I mean, in terms of a matchup between a Caitlyn and a Corki, things could be pretty okay. But although, I mean, Caitlyn does have a bit of an advantage range, but this could be a surprise coming in for Imperium Pro team because I don't think a lot of people lane against the support Veigar. So
I think the combination actually coming out of this with the Caitlyn and support Veigar is that when Veigar gets that stun, Caitlyn can put a trap and then follow up with the snare.
Right, yeah.
So even though they don't have the best of the burst damage, they have one of the best of the best follow up CCs.
Yeah,
Alright, now we're starting. See right now that Hero and CNS tried to look into that brush and possibly get a lot of damage onto them, but Luxuria and Astarte already start to that strategy from the bot lane of Imperium Pro team.
Yeah, so like we were saying earlier, definitely interesting to see how the bottom lane matchup will turn out. Again, that's some great CC coming in from Veigar, but again, the dive composition here coming in from Imperium Pro team with that Leona could also be pretty dangerous. I mean, Veigar doesn't have much of a disengage other than that stun, so if Imperium Pro team can play around that AoE stun, it could be pretty interesting.
Oh, it's Oni going against Light. Ooh! Oni super low right now. He will die. Yes, the first blood goes to Light before the 3-minute mark, and advantage goes to Imperium Pro team.
Yeah, I mean, Light really showing up here.
Onto Astarte. Nice stun there. Force the flash out of him. Will he die? Oh, there's a lot of damage onto him. Last tick of Ignite, and the kill will go to Luxuria, sorry. And he gets stunned. Will he die? Oh! He gets the stun onto Astarte. One more hit. Imperium Hero gets the kill onto Astarte. And he's getting a lot of damage onto the turret. That was a 2-for-1 exchange already. So much. Oh, wait, sorry. So much clashes coming out of these two.
Sorry, guys. Astarte just getting a little bit energetic right now.
That was so intense. He really went in. Hero was too over-aggressive. He was a Leona, man. He doesn't have the damage early on to kill someone with that much HP under turret.
Yeah, they should have just left that one for a 1v1 exchange. It looked really good at the beginning for both teams, but when Leona decided to come in and take down that Veigar, he should have just walked away.
Yeah, Astarte was really good.
Yeah,
he really baited out. I think he counted the timer for that ignite.
Yeah, that was really good calculation there coming in from Astarte. He came in, he landed a little bit of damage just before leaving, and the ignite wasn't able to finish him off. Great bottom lane clashes going on here.
Experience, man, is really paying off for this duo bot for Team Pacific.
Yeah, I mean, Astarte right now, I mean, just because you banned the Blitz, he still got some tricks up his
There's
sleeve.
damage onto Luxuria, goes in on Zensho, but the stun was not able to hit him, so the kill goes again to a hero, but now ZNS is in a lot of trouble. One more hit, there's a teleport coming in from Haze. Will he be able to go in on Astarte? Nice Zero Blade coming in from Hero, and Astarte will die to this. One more hit.
There.
Oh no! The heal is nice stun coming in from Astarte again!
Will he escape?
Will he escape?
Oh my gosh!
But now Light is here.
Light, will he take it? Oh!
Yes, he will.
Yes, he will.
That was in favor of Team Imperial Pro Team.
That was a really prolonged clash there. Oh.
Yeah. I'm really wondering why Team Pacific tried to bait that out. I guess it was a really good bait, but the miscommunication was there.
Yeah, I mean,
Astarte's stun didn't hit Zensho.
Yeah, and it was a little bit risky too. I mean, they knew that Luxuria was quite low, but instead they decided to engage anyway, and that costed them that one kill. So, I guess a little bit of miscalculation there, but the lead is now for Imperial Pro Team by 1 kill.
Yeah, but which is better? The early kills onto the Caitlyn or the early kills onto the Zed?
Definitely.
Because I think it's on the Zed because he already has 3 long swords. He'll probably make one into a Brutalizer and another one into a Cutlass or a Hexdrinker if he wants to tank a little bit more the damage coming in from Pacific Oni.
Yeah, we're just having a little bit of technical difficulties at the moment, but that Zed with the 2 kills would really hurt because actually Fizz is behind a little bit because of that one death, and this could really bring things down for him. I mean, we usually want a Fizz to snowball pretty well into the mid game, but because he's a little bit behind now, Zed might be running faster than he can respond to the ganks.
Yeah, but level wise, it's still, I guess, a little bit in favor. It's still a little bit balanced, but when Light gets back into that lane, he will be able to get that level 5 quite early because of the kills. That, of course, kills give you a lot more XP than 1-by-1 creeps.
Yeah, and I actually want to point out that great response coming in from Hate in that bottom lane when he decided to burn the teleport. Galio also burned his teleport, but I believe he was not present in that bottom lane clash, so he was able to get an assist there, and things will be pretty interesting in this top lane now, because Galio does really well against AP champions, but slight lead could turn things a little bit more in favor for Lissandra.
Actually, we'll see, because Lissandra's ultimate is the Frozen Tomb, and Galio's ultimate is Channeling. It's an AoE taunt, but it's also channeling. So if Galio uses his ultimate prematurely and Haze still has his Frozen Tomb up, he can just stun in Galio and cancel out a lot of the burst damage that comes out from that ultimate of his.
Definitely. So really mechanically reliant this top lane matchup.
Yes, very, very true. And I can see right now that Poisanity will try to defend his top lane while Haze is, I believe, recalling. Actually still in the mid lane, but he will recall soon and go back to his top lane to farm yet again.
Yeah, he did just get that assist at that bottom lane, so he will return pretty soon, although without the teleport, but he will still be able to catch up on CS. Gragas just gonna defend a little bit in the top lane.
Okay, so also for this duo bot lane coming in from Team Pacific, I really have to commend their Astarte's timing. Even though you said that the stun from Veigar has a very long cooldown, he's really using it to their advantage, and his timing on his baits are actually really good. That Zensho really has to try to go all in on that, and then Luxuria is just there for the follow-up kill onto him. So like you see right now, it's really paying dividend for Team Pacific. 2-1-0 compared to the 0-2-2. While of course, Hero does have those 2 kills. It's on a support, and even though he gets those early sight stones, the damage will be a bit lacking, in my opinion. Yeah,
and it's actually quite interesting to see that Veigar decided to pick up a Relic Shield instead of a Spell Thief.
Actually, it's actually alright because he can use the Target Execute by using his Q. So he has the damage there to he has the execute damage there to activate it without miscalculating the damage because of his Q ability, of course.
Yeah, so interesting itemization there. And pick, of course, coming in from Astartes to use Vhagar. And I think it would be pretty interesting to see how that bottom lane matchup turns out. I mean, even though Vhagar doesn't have much of a disengage there against the Leona, that stun really puts a lot of, well, fear into the bottom laners there from Imperium Pro Team. So, really interesting pick.
You can see right now that B-Tomb does have 78 attack damage on his Wukong level 3, so he has the damage there. But I think he should just try and get level 6 first before he tries to do anything a little bit more aggressive. Because, yeah, we saw that level 3 Grant coming in from him, but it wasn't super effective. Because he didn't have the CC to follow up, because you can see right there, Lusuria died immediately. From the Zenith Blade follow-up of Hero.
Yeah.
Right, so I guess that's just my opinion. But Poisanity can't do otherwise to go for a pre-6 gank because, like we said again, his E-dash has a stun. So if he connects it, he can follow up with the barrel. Then the second skill, I believe the second skill adds damage depending on your max HP. Yes, there we go. So he has the HP there. I believe he has.
And he also has the Stalker's Blade. So that's even more CC coming in.
Yeah, CC coming. Soft CC. He has 846. Damage is maximum. I believe it will 20%.
Yeah.
Actually, 8% of the target. Oh, actually, target's max HP. So Galio here, 831. So 8% of that is.
Basically damage.
It's basically damage. Nanghina ako sa mathematics ko ngayon. I'm just really looking into the game right now. Alright, again, while we're waiting for the game to come back, we have a little bit of announcement for you guys who still watch the GPL.
Yeah, so we just want to remind you guys that if you did catch the GPL recently, 2 days ago, Mineski went up against Anfat Ultimate, and they did lose both games in that best of 2 against them. And there was a bit of worry about what would happen to the Philippine teams then. But don't worry, because the system of GPL is a double round robin. So the teams from all teams will still have a chance to face every team once more. So there is going to be another round robin going on, and that means that our respective Philippine teams still have a chance to get over to the next stage of the GPL. Yes. So the dream is still alive.
The dream is still alive. It is real. They just have to work harder, guys, because playing games like this isn't just for fun. It's for our passion. Esports, yes, man, is a passion. It's not just a hobby for some people. It's like a dream come true, and then you have to fight for that dream, guys.
Yes. So wise words coming in from Asarai Master. Yeah, but like we said, definitely the passion is still alive. Our teams still have a chance to get over to the next stage of the GPL.
Yeah. If they win the GPL, what's the next thing for them?
Well, I believe that
it's LCS or IEM.
I believe. Well, usually, from what I understand, GPL usually, if you win this one, you usually have a chance to get over invites for the Worlds. Because like TPA, they did win the GPL the previous season, so they did get over 2 Worlds. But TPA actually right now, I believe Bebe is left. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen to TPA
they're a bit
at the moment.
weaker right now.
So but still, that gives our Philippine teams a chance to get to the next stage. So definitely something to look out for.
I think even though accepting if like win the GPL and then some of the other international tournaments will actually recognize your abilities and then invite you to join in.
Yes, so, definitely.
Fingers crossed, guys. We might see Mineski and IEM.
Yeah,
I want to see Mineski going against something like Gambit Gaming, Unicorns of Love, TSM, one of my favorite NA teams.
Yeah, so really interesting. Hopefully, in this GPL, we will get recognized for our talent. I mean, there are also a lot of new teams, really strong teams like Naga and J2, who also have a chance at being recognized
Naga Neep,
internationally.
Guys, he is the real support. Sorry, it's just a little bit of a joke. Alright,
so
we're
the
now
game
back
has
into the
resumed.
game. Yes, you can see right now that Hate is just going to walk up back to his top lane. So he doesn't want to recall, he just wants to go back, farm up again, and try to possibly win the lane.
Yeah, we see Gragas actually defending a little bit in the top lane, but we could see a possible gank in the top lane. Yep, he was coming in. We are actually seeing the engager in the top lane.
Yes, here comes Hate and Poisanity going in on Nids. Nids was forced to use the flash there, and again, like you've said, his innate magic damage tankiness is really giving him that durability against Haste and Poisanity.
Yeah, we saw him negate a lot of damage from that gank. I mean, despite having a lot of time, despite Imperium Pro Team having a lot of time to gank Galio there in that top lane, his just innate tankiness towards AP damage really helped him to survive that gank there.
They actually made a start to go in and get that boots of mobility. So this means that he is trying to be a bit more aggressive in the other lanes.
Yeah, we could see possible Veigar support roam here. I mean, we have seen, I believe 2 days ago, I saw an Alistar support from Anpat Ultimate, and he did roam quite a lot into the other lane. So we could see the same thing here coming in from Pacific Esports.
It's not an unusual thing to see that the supports roam to try and get ganks. It's because they have the CC that they have the ability to go in it. And I can see that Beatum is taking a lot of damage from Hate, and Oni is not going in on that. Ooh. And he will get the kill onto Beatum. But he is actually onto Oni. Poisanity was able to get the kill onto Beatum, but Oni was able to get the kill onto Light. I just believe that Light should have just died to Beatum, because a kill onto Oni with a Fizz is better than a kill onto Beatum.
Yeah, I mean...
Kill by Beatum, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Light... I thought actually that he had already died, but he actually popped his ult. However, he didn't really land the kill there. He did just get an assist, and I was thinking he should have probably backed up a little bit earlier, but he did get the assist, so still a little bit of an advantage there for him.
Yeah. I guess a little bit of miscommunication advantage coming in from those two players from Imperial Pro Team.
Yeah, he did run just a little bit too long going over towards Oni in that mid lane clash.
Misses the Zenith Blade there by Hero. And Lusuria and Astarte are starting to... starting. There's the Zenith Blade yet again onto Lusuria. There's the Phosphorus Bomb. Lots of damage onto Lusuria. Forces that 90 caliber net. And Poisanity is here to just waddle with that big tummy of his.
Like I was saying, I mean, even if Astarte as Veigar does not have a lot of disengage options, that stun really gives Imperial Pro Team's bot lane a hindrance, because even if Leona here comes in with the Zenith Blade and lands the stun, Veigar has a stun of his own to stop that engage, so really helpful there.
True, but while that is happening, they are starting to respect the damage combination coming in from these two teams, from Imperial Pro Team, sorry. There's the stun coming in on Astarte. Valkyrie is there, will he be able to get the kill? Yes, the forces to use the flash, but gets the kill.
Yeah, that's actually another aggressive support build we're seeing with the Ignite on there for Leona.
Yeah, even though you said like Astarte can use his stun to position them, you really have to respect the damage coming in from a Leona Corki combo.
Yes. Because
when Leona uses her debuff ability and then Corki procs it, that's a lot of damage, dude.
Yes, definitely. So, a lot of damage coming in from this bot lane, and yeah, definitely Pacific Esports should not underestimate that.
Lusuria gets caught out there with the ultimate coming out of Hero, but he doesn't get stunned there, so nice, let's say, quick timing coming. Oni does not get that playful stress trickster over the wall, uses the stun onto Zensho. Will Zensho die? Just Valkyrie's away. Didn't even get any damage from Lusuria there.
Yeah, I actually thought Oni was gonna land his shark over to ZNS there, but he actually decided not to because so many members of Imperium Pro Team were there by that dragon area. So
also,
good choice.
Also he didn't have enough damage just because he only has that Seeker's Arm Guard.
Yeah, actually interesting to see how he goes for that Seeker's Arm Guard, definitely respecting the damage that Zed has in that mid game, and because he got those 2 early kills, that was probably a precaution.
Ooh, there's a lot of damage coming out of Hate onto Nids. Nids actually not... Ooh. Okay, ouchies. You can see right now that Nids isn't utilizing well the kit that Galio has. You see that he only used his Bulwark against the auto attack of Hate right there, and that gave Hate a lot of time to put more damage onto him, because Bulwark only works the few first hits onto him, and yeah, he wasn't able to regen back out of that. And now you can see that B2, already level 6, is in the bot lane. Doesn't get spot out by that ward. There's no ward in that Tri-Brush, so this might be a good gank coming out of Team Pacific.
Yeah, especially with the invisibility coming in from B2, he definitely has great lane ganks, and he's level 6 now, so if he does connect that knock-up onto both members, it's gonna be great!
There it is! There's the ultimate, hits nothing! There's the knock-up onto Hero, nice ultimate there coming out of Poisanity. There's the stun from Astarte, force the flash out of B2. Here's Hate, will he be able to get, but B2, one more hit, goes to, the kill goes onto Zensho, and Nids was forced to cancel his TP, and this will be, I believe, the first dragon in favor of Imperium Pro Team.
Great response there coming in actually from Imperium Pro Team. I mean, the great response coming in from Poisanity with the counter gank, and also the teleport coming in from Hate to give them the advantage.
Yeah, they really went in too aggressive on that, and I think Imperium Pro Team already saw this coming. Because what are you going to do? Gank in the mid Fizz who has no damage, and the Zedge who can just shadow away? Or the top lane, the Sandra, who can just, like, you know, Frozen Tomb herself and just wait for the respawn coming in from her teammates. The most viable option for them is to try to gank Imperium Pro Team's dual bot lane, but that's just not working for them anytime soon right now.
Yeah, and great job from Poisanity earlier. Ooh,
but there's ultimate onto Oni! And Hero was forced to use his flash and stun Oni, and then Imperium Light forced the flash over the wall, gets the kill onto him. So even though they forced those two flashes, it was still a kill for Light, and he's really getting a lot of farm into that mid lane. Gets that mid tier 1 turret, and this is really looking in favor of Team Pacific. Team Imperium Pro Team.
Yeah, it's a great job here coming in from Light to secure the mid-game lead. I mean, usually we might say that in a Fizz and a Zed against each other in the mid lane might be a skill-reliant matchup, and definitely Light is really showing us his game here with the Zed mechanics he's got. He has 3 kills now at 12 minutes into the game, and with the towers going down there in the mid and the bottom lane, Zed's just gonna keep showing up in all these lanes.
Yeah, I can see right now that Nids hasn't been effective throughout this game right now. He hasn't been responding fast enough. He hasn't even used his ultimate, I think not even once.
Yeah, I mean,
try and get something out of it.
That ult, like you said earlier, it's actually a channeling spell. So even if he does teleport, it is gonna take a while for him to land any significant amount of CC, and that gives him a little bit of a hard time to make his presence felt in the other lanes.
Yeah, because for me, he needs to lock up these 3 people, or else his ultimate will get cancelled. It's the Sandra, Leona, and the Gragas. If those 3 do not get caught up by any kind of CC coming in from Team Pacific, they won't be able to fully utilize it.
Yeah, I think Pacific Esports needs to invest a little bit more kills over onto Oni there. I mean, he is a little bit lackluster at the moment. He has 2 deaths, and I think they really need to invest in their pick potential here.
But here's the guy onto Hate. Hate will just use that
Glacial
Path
yeah,
and dash away like a boss. There's the stun onto Oni. Will he die immediately? Uses that jump of his. Nice stun coming out of a start there. Uses the ultimate onto Zencho. No damage at all. There's the ultimate coming out of Oni, but the damage is not there. There's a nice ultimate coming out of Hero onto Astarte. Very nice stun there as well. Pinpoint, actually. There's the Chilling Smite onto Astarte. Bulwark coming out of Nids. But Team Imperium Pro Team, oh my gosh, I'm just saying Team Imperium Pro Team. And this will be a double kill by Zencho, and Hero will survive. Wow. I thought he was just willing to die there, but he actually is really tanky.
Yeah, great calculation there coming in from Imperium Pro Team. And that ward there deep in the jungle near the red buff there from Imperium Pro Team really paid off. They were able to get 3 kills there onto Pacific Esports, and really the warding coming in from Imperium Pro Team is really good now. We can see that deep wards really pay off, especially with such great pick champions here coming in from Imperium Pro Team.
Alright, so while that was happening, Luceria was able to get that bot tier 1. So even though if they lost that that skirmish and the top tier 1 turret, they at least get back a little bit of gold from this.
Yeah, so, try to make things a little even at least.
Yeah, so even though if you're losing, guys, never stop getting objectives, because objectives will get you the win. Seriously, guys. That's like, if you get inhibit, if you're like down like 30 kills, 10,000 gold, but still get the inhibitor and then split push, you could actually win the game. It's all about that timing.
Yeah, so another wise advice coming in for Master Azurai. So you guys should take note of this.
Master Azurai gives you a lot of ice. never again. Alright, and I can see that Oni will get that blue buff onto himself. He's not really giving a lot of damage. Only has that Phoenix Codex arm and Seeker's Arm Guard. I believe he will get a DFG if he is able to farm up a little bit more. He really wants to get the burst onto someone squishy into Imperium Pro Team. But the only squishy one I am seeing right then from them is Zencho. And Zencho has the safety from Hero, because the stun onto Oni might not be able to give him that enough burst damage.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, so far in the game, we were discussing at the beginning, seeing the pick and ban phase, that this game will really depend on which of these teams makes the picks first, because both teams have great pick potential. I mean, they do have the Fizz with the assassination, the stun coming in from Vagar, but Imperial Pro Team also has the...
Okay, I thought it was gonna be a Zenith Blade, but it was a little bit 1 inch from hitting.
Oh, yeah, just missed.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I was saying, it really does depend on who makes the better picks, and so far, great picks coming in from Imperial Pro Team. Pacific Esports really has to invest in that Fizz assassination potential if they want to get back in the game.
Yeah, but what happened in the early game? Light got the kills, and Oni wasn't able to snowball in his lane.
Yeah.
And he is now, and Oni is now struggling to get that. And you can see right now that Light is being the split push Zed. If you don't want to go in for the fights, and you have a Zed who's already fed, why not split push? You have the split push power there from his AD, and of course he has fast. Okay, almost missed there, almost got him again. Yeah. But while that is happening, 20 seconds on the DR, and again it will be in favor of Imperial Pro Team. Sorry. Actually, yes, this will be the second dragon if Team Pacific will not contest first. And look, it's here now. Light's just waiting for someone to come in into his trap.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, Imperial Pro Team's been putting a lot of great vision around the map, and they've secured the Scuttle Trap and the wards down there over at the Dragon Pit. So, great vision coming in from Pacific Esports, from Imperial Pro Team.
Will they try to go in for this? They don't have the damage. Here comes Pacific Esports trying to flank Imperial Pro Team. You can see right now, Zensho was forced to Valkyrie away. There's the ultimate coming out of the Surya onto Poisanity, but Poisanity is a little bit too tanky for him.
A little bit too fat there. She's probably trying to push him away so he can't land the smite. But the stun comes down. Oh, the Zenith Blade.
There we go, there's a clash. You can see right now that it's a very messy clash. There's the ultimate coming out of it onto himself. Poisanity is super low right now. Will B2 be able to get the kill onto him? Nice ultimate there from Nids. Gets, I believe, 2 people. Zensho was forced to use his flash out, but now Light is here to get those pickup kills. Force uses that flash over the wall. Will he be able to get the kill onto Oni? There's a lot of damage onto Zensho. There's the playful Sash Dexter. Will Light be able to save himself? There's the second skill passive from Oni, getting the kill onto him. And now ZNS Zensho is trying to get the kill onto a starter. Will the Wolves be able to kill him? Gets the kill with that rocket. Very nice. And Oni, almost tried to hop over the wall to get the kill onto Zensho right there.
Yeah,
here comes the instant replay.
Let's walk through this really messy,
it was really
messy team fight. So we're actually seeing the stun lands onto 3 members, but Hero landed the Zenith Blade, and that great ult coming in from Poisanity to bring B2 back into the fight. But we see that Light actually walks in a little bit later. The ult comes down onto Nids, but the team fight's actually really messed up right now. But B2 actually gets really low.
He gets a 3-man taunt right there.
Yeah, he does. And Nids tries to land the ult. He actually puts down damage onto 2 members. And although a lot of Pacific's members are here, Light's here to sort of save the day, make the engage just a little bit more even. He does land a kill there onto Luxuria. He does disengage a little bit onto B2 as well. He's able to bring down 2 members, and that makes the engage just a little bit more even. And from this point, both teams are really just trying to clean up from the mess that they made initially. And
the messy clash.
Yeah, and at this point, great playful trickster coming in from Oni to dodge that E coming in from Light, and he's able to secure the kill there. And yeah, at this point, pretty much just clean up coming in from both teams to make it a pretty even clash.
But while that happened, Light already has 8,000 net worth compared to Oni's almost 6,000. But he does have that Zonia's Hourglass, so he has the survivability in the clashes, but still not enough damage. Like you saw there, he uses ultimate onto ZNS. Still wasn't enough to get to force him out of the clash.
Yeah, and like we were saying, Oni should be the focus here in getting kills together with his ADC Caitlyn, but because he doesn't have a lot of damage since he did rush that Zhonya's because of the lead that Light got, Light really did a great job of getting an advantage in that early game against Oni to really bring down the damage potential from Pacific Esports.
Light also bought a Ghost Blade and Blade of the Ruined King, so he really is going in for that 1v1 damage. And you can see Astarte tried to use his ultimate, stun onto ZNS, but ZNS was fast enough to use his Valkyrie away. And there's the force Zonia's out of Oni right there.
Yeah, I mean, Astarte flashed and stunned, but the Valkyrie He was, I mean, ZNS was able to Valkyrie out of there, so
yeah, he was really
burned that flash
anticipating it.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, Nids gets the Blue Sentinel, so little bit of a win coming in onto Pacific Esports.
Yeah.
But now while that's happening, Light and Haith are now starting to hammer down on this top tier 2 turret. There's the activation.
Ooh.
Oh wow, there's the hit onto Haith, but Haith is really safe right now. Doesn't need the Zonias because whoa, there's a nice flash coming out of him. Or they get the double kill. There's another ultimate, a 3-man stun coming out of Nids, but nice Q there from Hero before he got the stun. Before he got taunted, he used his Q ability and got that stun onto Nids, prematurely ending his ultimate. And now, Poisanity is trying to run away for his life. The Surya will get a lot of chunk from that rocket.
Yeah, but that was actually in favor
of Team Imperium,
yeah, Team
Pro
Imperium.
Team. Again, why am I saying it's Team Imperium Pro Team? That's very redundant. Imperium, I just gotta say Team IPT na lang kasi nakakalito eh.
Yeah, I mean, that was in favor of Imperium Pro Team. We did see, I mean, that was in favor of Pacific.
No, it's actually in favor of Imperium Pro Team because they got the top tier 2 turret.
Right, yeah.
Oh, here comes Light. Misses that. I guess he got the mind games from the Surya, but he got none of it. He uses his death mark to secure the kill onto him.
Yeah, so great job there. Light just keeps making those picks onto all these lanes right now. He was at the top lane, then he went to the bottom lane.
And Oni are here. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so Light just keeps making those picks into the different lanes right now, and it's really paying off right now for Imperium Pro Team.
Okay, Zensho was trying to recall, but the Raptor was just denying him, saying, "Nope, you cannot recall, man."
Yeah, he wants him to stay there.
Yeah, stay with me. I miss you. All right, you can see right now, gold lead, Imperium Pro Team wise, 7,000, yeah, 7.2 thousand, and the Dragon will be up in a minute and 20 seconds. Again, I feel that Imperium Pro Team will get this without any contention coming in from Pacific Esports, just because Pacific Esports still doesn't have the damage that they want. They do have it if they play their cards correctly, but if they go in an all-out fight, I don't think that they'll be able to. I mean, because Hero's mechanics to counter out Nid's ultimate with the Galio, if Galio tries to go in for that taunt, he actually just times his Q ability, and when he comes in to hit him, it's a stun, so it prematurely cancels. So very nice mechanics coming in from the support of Imperium Pro Team.
Yeah, I mean, Nids really has to be careful.
Nice damage onto Oni there. There's the ultimate. Oh wow! That was a nice
Great
play.
response.
Also, nice play coming out of Oni there. He was waiting for the knock up of the ultimate, and then Lusura's ultimate, and then just use the Zonias so that Light can't use his ultimate to counter engage.
Yes.
So very
Beautiful
nice
play.
Yeah, very nice synergy coming in from Pacific Esports. So they're not out of this just yet.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, Nids really has to be careful when he decides to pop that ult, because there are actually so many interrupts coming in from Imperium Pro Team. They've got the Zenith Blade, the stun, they've got the root and the Frozen Tomb, and then they've got the knockback sort of, and the stun coming in from Poisanity there. So he really has to time that ult correctly.
Yeah, and also he's not the top bruiser Galio that we want.
Yeah.
He only has that bruiser capability if he uses that bulwark all himself. Alright, you can see right now the Oni is putting a little bit damage onto Hero right there, and now Poisanity is caught. He tried to steal a dragon, but wasn't successful. Oh, 90 caliber nets over the wall, but still hits another wall. So wallception.
So great job from Pacific Esports to try and get back into this game. They're really trying to do what they can, and pretty risky steal attempt coming in from Poisanity.
Here comes Haze. Will he go in? There's a stun coming out of a startup, but Zensho is just tanking him like a boss, but he's super low right now. Will he go down? There's the flash and ultimate coming out of B2, and Imperium Zensho will get the kill. You can see right now that Nids is starting to try and get that. Didn't use his ultimate just yet. There's the flash Zenith Blade, but didn't need that. Did use the Imperium Light did use his flash to try and get the kill onto him. Yes, gets the execute kill, and now he's just tanking the tower like a boss. And okay, I think Oni died to the Valkyrie's burn.
Yeah,
the fish was cooked well done.
So great job.
Grilled the fizz.
Great job coming in from Imperium Pro Team so far. We can see how the damage from Light is really it's really giving Pacific Esports a hard time here.
Yeah, the passive execution.
Yeah.
The passive is really executing those low HP members of Pacific Esports.
Yeah, we can really see the effect of the lead that Imperium Pro Team has had so far into the game, and because they've secured so many towers, 7 towers, as compared to Pacific Esports, who's only actually taken just 1 tower so far. The lead is 10,000 at the moment, and we can really feel it.
Also, the warnings, man. Look at that. It's really good coming in from Team IPT. Like I said, they have a lot of vision onto the enemy jungle, while Team Pacific Esports only has those defensive wardings in a little bit of the entrances in their jungles. We can see right now that Light will going on a start there, puts a lot of burst onto him. Will he die to that? Yes, he will. Oh, the auto attack from Lusuria is real, gets the kill onto Imperium Light.
Yeah, I mean, Pacific Esports is really reliant on their main damage dealers, which are Caitlyn here.
Nids try to get in the slow and oh, Hero gets a lot of the damage there, uses the ultimate onto him. There's the taunt, like we've said before, and that's a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of Team Pacific Esports.
Yeah, we actually saw Hate throw in his Glacial Path, but he decided not to proc it the second time, and I think it might have helped if he had, because if he had come in there and popped possibly his ult.
Oh! Uses the ultimate, he's being a little bit too aggressive with no one to help him. And now Lusuria is unstoppable. Poisanity forced to flash over the wall, and Oni is here. Will he be able to get the kill? Oh! Okay, Needs with the bulwark. Tried to save Oni there, but the damage from the Fat Man was enough to get the kill.
Yeah, great job coming in from Poisanity. Great mechanics there. He was good. I mean, maybe a less potent or a less mechanically skilled person would have decided to just run away with that Gragas, but instead he decides to turn around and gets the kill before he's taken down.
Oni was hoping to get the kill onto Poisanity, but Poisanity, the Fat Man, was really strong with
really a lot of emphasis on the Fat Man here.
Yeah, the Fat Man, and his belly just wobbled over the face of Fizz.
So yeah, great job coming in from Imperium Pro Team so far, and like we said earlier, really because Oni is lacking in damage at the moment, they're not able to trade evenly. I mean, great warding and great position, great warding, great objective control coming in from Imperium Pro Team, and Pacific Esports really has to learn from this game whether or not they win. They really have to up their game in terms of objective control and vision control as well if they want to win this best of 2.
Yeah. Also, they're not able to capitalize onto the support Veigar that Starty had. I thought that when he got the stun, Lusuria would follow up with the traps, but I don't think that he has tried to do something like that. And this actually might have been their downfall, because I think they should have gone something like a turnaround support type. Like for example, Imperium Pro Team tries to go in with a very aggressive support. They could use like a Peel Queen like Janna. I believe they didn't ban out Janna, or someone like Braum with his ultimate to try and get those stuns onto the enemy team and possibly get a pick for themselves, but they're not actually capitalizing with that with a Veigar support.
Yeah, I mean, Veigar mostly has damage spells, so the only amount of utility that he has is actually the stun, so any other support would have been better.
Yeah, he doesn't have damage spells, he doesn't have damage items right now, not even damage support items.
Yeah.
You can see that he's building almost exclusively HP items.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was wondering why he had decided to go for the Relic Shield when he could have gone for the Spell Thieves Edge. Maybe it would have helped a little bit to spike up his damage, but then again, he decided to go for the Relic Shield, and although he's a little bit tanky, it might have been better to go for a more damage-oriented build, or just to go for an entirely different support.
Alright, you see right now that Imperium Pro Team is starting to knock on the doors of the base of Pacific Esports. Dragon will be up in about 35 seconds. Imperium Pro Team does have 1 Dragon buff, while Pacific Esports does have 2. So it will be a bit more beneficial for Imperium Pro Team to get the 2nd Dragon buff, because I believe it's the pushing power?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a pushing power. While the 3rd Dragon buff for Pacific Esports will be that, I believe, the 5% movement speed buff.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now, the Baron buff is totally free for Imperium Pro Team to take at the moment. I mean, Pacific Esports failing in their vision, and they don't have any vision at the Baron at the moment. So if ever Imperium Pro Team tries to take that Baron, it's really all for Imperium.
Startus trying to get any stun right there, but wasn't successful. Alright, this is a really nice strategy from Imperium Pro Team. They're just split pushing Light in the top lane, and Pacific Esports is just using Oni to try and defend. But Oni can't wave clear as fast as Light if he doesn't use his 3rd skill. But now you can see that Light...
Oh!
Wow!
Wow!
He didn't build
tons
any
of damage.
Tons of damage. He didn't build any armor, and his HP was not enough to survive that.
Yeah, I think he was trying to build magic resist to negate some of the damage coming in from the Sandra, but that was definitely a disadvantage for him as well, actually, because Light's damage is just crazy.
Also, that was a nice play coming in from Light. He does have the QSS, so even though if Nids did get in a beautiful ultimate to try and mitigate the damage from the Death Mark, the QSS, man, it was just there.
Yeah. So great job coming in from Light. Really, his lead is really showing so far into the game. He's 9-4 and 244 CS at the moment, the highest CS so far in the game. One just ahead of Caitlyn. So
a little bit of poke onto a start coming from a starter there. Hey, it's super low right now, and will they go on a bit more? There's the ultimate onto Vitality by Oni. Will get a knock up, gets the ultimate from the Caitlyn, and he dies from his own ultimate. I'm just kidding. He dies to Oni's damage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not so sure why he decided to pop that ultimate. Might have been better to pop it a little bit earlier for the disengage potential, but perhaps it was on cooldown. Maybe failed judgment. But either
now
way,
I see why they got that Veigar support. Because even if Veigar doesn't have a lot of AP damage, his ultimate still, I believe, gives you 80% of the AP of the enemy champion onto themselves. So they still have the damage, but it has to be on an AP champion. And the only AP champion I'm seeing here coming in from Imperial Pro Team is the Lissandra.
And slightly Gragas.
Slightly Gragas.
Yeah. And Corki, but so far lackluster Veigar support so far into the game.
I can see right now that the AP coming in from 339 there. So yeah, he's the most optimal target for Astarte right now.
Yeah, so definitely a question.
There's the stun onto Light. Here's the follow-up coming in from Oni. The ultimate goes on to Astarte, but here is Nids in the backline. Very nice dodge there. Will he be able to get the kill? He uses that QSS, but Fizz was able to trample him with his trident.
Yeah, perhaps Light just got a little bit over.
But while that was happening, there was 4 members of Pacific Esports. This will be a free mid inhibitor in favor of Imperial Pro Team.
Yeah, it looks like they sort of did what Mineski did earlier. They have someone split pushing over at another lane. Meanwhile, all other members are trying to do something else. So
and he got the attention of 4 people from Pacific Esports.
I mean, with the lead that Light has, he really attracts a lot of attention from a lot of Pacific's Esports members. And because so many of them were up there, they weren't able to defend that inhibitor, and now Pacific Esports, I mean Imperium Pro Team, puts himself at an even bigger lead at 32, almost 33 minutes into the game.
Yeah, Pacific Esports shouldn't go to the Light. Don't go to the Light.
Yeah, definitely a scary champion right now.
Yes, I can see right now that Pacific Esports will get that mid-tier 1 turret for themselves. There's a stun onto Hero, but that's not the one they want. There's the ultimate onto the Shura, and Astarte forces to use that flash out, and B2 will try to go to the engage. There's the stun onto him. That was a very bad clash coming in from him. There's the follow-up from Nids. Gets a 4-man clash there, and now you can see that Light is just everywhere. Gets the kill, and that was a it's actually in favor of Team Pacific Esports.
Oh my!
That was a 2-for-4 exchange in favor of Pacific Esports, and they will now start to get that mid-tier 2 turret. But ZNS is still full HP, so he has the ability to try and defend.
Yeah, so great job, great team fight coming in from Pacific Esports. Galio was able to land a great ult there. I think he was able to land it onto several members, and again,
there's the stun onto Luxuria. Oh, sorry, ZNS there uses that Valkyrie away and then flashes away.
Yeah, I mean, Veigar doesn't have a lot of damage, but we're gonna just
what happened? Okay, just kidding. It's the instant replay.
We see B2 actually land a knockup onto 3 members actually, and then Nids comes in with his ult, and no one actually decides to interrupt him, so he's able to land it onto several members. Then B2 comes back in, tries to land some damage of his own. Light's brought out way far because he tried to land the ult onto B2, but he goes way far back, so he's forced to go back again, and then there's the damage coming in from Oni. Great job from him there. The heal is forced, but he's able to pop the Zhonya's right after dashing out, and then pretty much here it's an attempt at cleanup, and Oni's able to survive, although he does die to Corki. Yeah, but great team fight coming in there for Pacific Esports, and a little bit of misplay coming in from Imperium Pro Team, failing to interrupt the ult coming in from Nids there.
Okay, so what you said before, no one tried to stop Nids' ultimate. Like what I've said, he needs to get that taunt onto the 3 members who can from Imperium Pro Team that can stop him, and he did.
Yes.
So that was really in favor of Pacific Esports right there, because there was no one to CC for Imperial Pro Team, and then the damage dealers were just let's say defenseless. They weren't protected by anyone.
Yeah, and like we were saying earlier, Pacific Esports needs to up their game if they want to get back, and it seems like this is like the point where they can come back to. This is they need to come back in terms of the team fight composition that they have.
The Imperial Light getting a bit too over aggressive, but just shadows away. He does have the Guardian Angel waiting to be procced, but he doesn't want to proc that just yet because of being overextended. He wants to proc it in those
team fights.
Yeah, team fights. Thank you.
So Light definitely, because of his lead, he does have a little bit more room to be over aggressive, I guess, in the game. But they have secured a little bit more vision onto that Baron. Pacific Esports definitely needs to take advantage of their team fight composition. Did's great job earlier with the ult. If he can continue to repeat that along with the starting stuns, they can definitely get back into the game with this one.
Right, so what's actually happening right now is Pacific Esports is slowly turning the tides of battle into their favor.
Yes.
Tides of battle. Right, just because their composition is made for the late game. I can see like Light, let's say Light, Haith does have those pick potentials, but Pacific Esports have the counter engage with the ultimate coming out of Nids. And for example, Light tries to go in on someone, Nids just has to use that bulwark onto the one who is targeted by Light, and then most of the damage is mitigated already.
Ooh, dragon fight going on here.
Oh, who will get this dragon? There's Poisanity getting damage onto B-Tomb, but B-Tomb was able to use his stealth movement there. I can see right now that Surya putting a lot of damage onto Hero. Hero was forced to flash out. That was a 1-for-0 exchange in favor
of Imperium Pro Team.
Yeah,
and they got the dragon as well.
Actually,
so
no, that's not.
Oh no, never mind. Imperium Pro Team traded one person for a dragon.
Yeah, but that's not in favor of Imperium Pro Team, in my opinion, because the third dragon isn't as important as the fourth one. They did get the kill, so Pacific Esports might try to come back out of this to get a dragon, Baron, or a tower. But they're not. They're actually just going back. They're actually just waiting for the mid inhibitor to respawn.
Yeah, so that pick, that dragon coming in for Imperium Pro Team would definitely help them out with pushing coming in. I mean, that does give them additional, I believe,
5% movement.
Yeah.
No, it's just third one.
Right.
It's the third one, so 5% movement
speed. So that will help them to roam around a little bit more, which is definitely what Light needs if he wants to split push and make great potential.
There's the ultimate coming out of Nits there. 3-man. Now, Lusuria is legendary, gets the kill onto Zensho. There's Haith trying to get back into the game. There's a nice glacial path. Will he be able to get the kill? No, B-Tomb executes him before he gets the kill onto Lusuria, and that, my friends, is a 2-for-1 exchange in favor of Team Pacific Esports.
Pacific Esports really showing what they can do with his team fight composition. Great ult again from Nids, and like I was saying, if Nids can continue to land those great spot-on ults, then they can definitely get back into the game. They've definitely shortened the lead. The lead was relatively big earlier.
Light is trying to go in on Lusuria, and Lusuria, I believe, will die to this. Yes, he will. I believe Lusuria should get a QSS. Oh, actually, he has, but already used it, I believe, to get out of the
earlier.
Against Haith there. So very nice timing there from Light. He was able to get that Libra kill, and now Oni uses that Zonius to protect himself. Does get the slow onto Poseidon. Poseidon's really tagging right now. Light is there, but he dodges over the wall. Uses the ultimate coming out for sanity, but Light didn't have enough of it. There's the teleport coming in from Haith. Really messy clash. Blocks that GA. Now Haith uses the ultimate, gets the double kill. And another good ultimate coming out of Nids, but was not enough damage. He got executed by Imperium Light.
Yeah,
Imperium, Pacific Esports a bit too over aggressive.
Yeah, they should have probably backed out a little bit earlier, but because they weren't able to back off enough, again, I mean, Poisanity got a little bit aggressive with his clash there. He was able to knock back a few members, I believe one member, but despite his death, he was able to get them 4 kills, so definitely a worthy trade, and now they're gonna get the uncontested Baron.
And now, it's again turning in favor of Imperium Pro Team. Man, Pacific Esports should try to be a bit more, less over-aggressive and try to just react rather than initiate after Nids does that. Because Nids is the only one who can truly initiate without any, with good follow-ups coming in from his team. I mean, when he gets that stun, he can, B-Tomb can follow with a knock-up. If B-Tomb tries to follow up, tries to initiate with a knock-up, they can just flash away, and then Nids won't be able to follow up the stun. The taunt.
Yeah, so earlier in the team fight, it was a great team fight from Pacific Esports earlier, but they, like we said, they did get just a little bit aggressive, and because they gave away 4 kills, it was the free Baron there coming in for Imperium Pro Team. I mean, I feel like Pacific Esports really needs to take advantage of the Wombo combo, coming in for the stun, and then the ult from both members of Pacific Esports. If they can take advantage of that, they can probably still get back into the game. All isn't lost just yet, despite the pressure that Imperium Pro Team has, but if they can take advantage of their team composition, I think they can still get back into the game.
They should try and burn out the Baron buff before they try to do something, I believe. You can see it now that Imperium Pro Team is not giving any room for Pacific Esports to breathe in. They're starting to have to knock on this mid inhibitor, and the Hadouken cannon is there for Imperium Pro Team. Look at that. That long range snipe is unfair. Ooh, Light gets a lot of damage from... Never mind.
Yeah, he actually didn't get a lot of damage because Light hasn't been building a lot of damage items at the moment.
No, actually, Light has a lot of damage items, but
SRD.
he's not building any AP. He's not going for the AP set.
Yeah.
That most pro players do. I'm just kidding. So, and we have now 2 Hadouken cannons going hammered down on that that mid inhibitor. Look at that damage, my guys. Look at that, my friends. The damage is real. But they were able to clear it. But ZNS was able to get the last hit.
And that's going to be an inhibitor now for Imperium Pro Team, and that's really dangerous now for Pacific Esports. They're really struggling now to defend, and because of the lead that Imperium Pro Team has, I mean, Light alone can really do a great job. Ooh!
This is it, the last clash that they will try to do to get back into the game. There's a nice ultimate from Nids, but Haste has that Zonius and uses the Frozen Tomb onto himself. B-Tomb will die to ZNS. Nids will die again to ZNS. Oni was able to get a kill onto Haste, but while that was happening, Light did get that top inhibitor, and now ZNS gets a double kill. Will he be able to get the triple? I believe he will. Oni is now a little bit too over aggressive. Will he be able to get a quadra? No, he will not. Imperium Light was able to get the kill onto the Surya, and I think they will be able to finish this off right now. And first game, I believe, will go to Imperium Pro Team.
Yeah, it was a good try there, coming in from Nids when he
Here
tried to
comes Oni to try and do something.
Good try.
The unofficial quadra kill for Imperium ZNS.
Yeah, so it was a great try coming in from Nids earlier to land that ult onto several members, but because he was only able to land it over onto Lissandra, it definitely cost them that fight, and that first game for this best of 2 is gonna go to Imperium Pro Team.
Yeah, and they really had to respect the it's because Imperium ZNS Zensho had that QSS, so even though he tried to force in that taunt, he could just QSS and then Valkyrie away.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Yeah, so great job coming in from Imperium Pro Team. They had great vision. They were able to secure a lot of objectives, and the lead that Light had in that mid lane just definitely helped them to snowball into the mid game to end the game at actually a pretty long 42 minutes in.
Yeah, 42 minutes in. Actually, it was a little bit in favor of Pacific Esports. They did get in that comeback clash.
Yeah.
But then they were over aggressive, and that gave them the 4-0 for Imperial Pro Team, and then the Baron, and then that just solidified the closer coming in from Imperial Pro Team. And you can see right now the endgame stats are here. So GS Amplifier, break it down for us.
Yeah, so actually we could see the huge amount of kills that Light got into the game, as well as Corki. He got 16-4. So really great job coming in from Light and ZNS to really carry their fellow members, taking advantage of the CC that both Leona and Lissandra had, together with Poisanity, to give some great team fights and picks. We do see that Oni, again, really got a little bit shut down in that mid lane. He does have 8 deaths total. So with only relying on Caitlyn as the damage dealer, it was really difficult for Pacific Esports.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
Yeah. So that was the game for Imperium Pro Team.
Yeah, that was a very action-packed game 1, Imperium Pro Team versus Pacific Esports. And game 2 will be in about a few short breaks. After a few short breaks, we will come back to you with game 2. Again, to reintroduce ourselves, I am GS Asarai with an I, and alongside here with me is
GS Amplifier.
Yes, and we will be back.